Good afternoon. You're not going to keep pestering me for a rate increase, are you? Wants a higher rate of pay. You just keep on doing your job, and I'll keep you around. And what a good job he has done. Birds just don't like owls, and they certainly don't like those bobbing heads. Am I right? Well, I just thought I'd do a recap. This Ronde Bordeaux was getting ripe around the 5th of July, right after my container RDB. And it's almost finished now. It has provided me with so many delicious figs. It's sad to think that the season and they are still delicious, top notch. It's sad to think that the season for my Ronde Bordeaux, at least this, I have several, so there's others that are coming into fruition, but sad to think that this one is almost finished fruiting. I see the farmer's busy at work over there. I wanted to talk briefly about several varieties. This one, I've been eating this for a couple of weeks. It's been ripening its fruit for quite some time. And it is a cultivar that I just endorse so heavily. I recommend this variety with quite a lot of enthusiasm. It is a spectacular, I say spectacular, variety, both in ground or in containers. I highly recommend LSU Tiger. I've eaten so many of these figs, and they're delicious. And there's so many of them. And this tree has taken a beating, let me tell you, from the winds. I've had a lot of storms out here this year, and it just keeps on ticking. The leaves have gotten beaten up, but the fruit's ripen. They're early. As I say, I've been eating these for at least, I would say, 10 days, 2 weeks. I'm not even sure. They are so good. They get high marks. Let me move on. My champagne are finally coming in. It is August 1st. And you can see this one's beginning to ripen quite nicely. It's not ready yet. I could eat it, but I'll wait another day. Champagne is another variety that I highly recommend. I've spoken of this variety before. You can look at my other videos and I mention it. And so I can tell you that it is a variety that you can count on, both in containers and ground. And here we are over at Malta Black. I've been eating these. This is an unusual story. My son seems to think that this is a variety that, well, it's not true to variety. It does seem very similar to a lot of my other Mount Etna types, and I do have about 10 at least 10 Mount Etna types. I think they're very good. My son thinks they're rather typical of Mount Etna, but you can see, look at the syrup, look at the beautiful texture of this fig. I have a good friend who's making me a air layer of true Malta Black. And indeed, if there's anyone out there that has a Malta Black that looks like this, or they want to confirm that it is Malta Black or not, you're certainly welcome. I would certainly enjoy your input. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? But whatever it is, I can tell you right now, this one's not going to last much longer. Mmm. 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 Maybe oh wow. Maybe my son picked one that wasn't quite right. I'm not going to talk about some of the other varieties that are here right now. My Mavrasica getting ripe, and I've been eating them, and they're delicious, and I highly recommend it, but I did a separate video on that. I've got other varieties that are going to be coming into fruition at different stages, and this way I get a lot of figs over a long period of time, not just my early producers. These will be getting ripe in a couple weeks, and I'll be enjoying them. I've got various varieties, which I don't have time on this video to talk about, but I'm certainly looking forward to them all. I want to speak quickly about two more varieties, and then I'm going to close this out for today, because we have storms heading our way today. Bad storms, so I have to prepare. But this is Sultane, a French fig, which I reported on earlier in the season. It makes quite a bit of Briba, more so than almost any other variety, the French variety. More so than any French variety. And I've been eating these. I'm guilty of eating these as they get ripe. I ate a couple this morning. I picked one right from there. Aren't they beautiful? Sultane. But they're ripe. I can break one open. I can only say that the Briba were not very good. And I was not impressed with the Briba. So if that's going to be your consideration, then I would not recommend it for that. But conversely, the main crop figs are delicious. They're really, 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 really good. Mmm. 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 That's a great fig. You won't be disappointed in Sultane. I have this one growing in a grow bag, which, wow, look at that. I didn't know that. Oh, wow. We're going to have another one here. Oh, it fell off. Ooh. Okay. What a treat. This one just fell off. What a beautiful fig. Highly recommend Sultane. It grows very well in pots. I've grown it in pots, and it was delicious. And I've grown it in the ground here, and which is just like growing it in the ground. Some of my earlier videos, if you want to look at them, speak of this method that I use. I call it my ground bag method. And the nice thing about that is that you get the good taste and the nourishment that you would get ordinary from the ground by cutting holes in the bag and letting the roots spread out in the nearby dirt, reaching out for what is natural, living in a more natural environment like it was intended for fig trees. But in the fall, you can pluck them up out of the ground very easily and put them in storage. It's a very good technique, and I certainly recommend that technique for anyone who wants to preserve their tree for next year and not have it die to the ground. Let's walk along. I've got a lot of varieties in the ground out there and everywhere. Plenty in the greenhouse or around the greenhouse. I just put them in there to avoid the storm that is heading this way. And there's my little babies growing. All my important varieties. I've got lots of them. I wanted to talk a little bit. Let me eat this fig. Let me eat this fig. I have to. This one tops the other one. It's so delicious. Honestly delicious. Sweet. What a nectar. Syrupy. Jammy. What a quality fig. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Forgive my enthusiasm. I wait all year for this sort of thing. I was out here this morning eating this other variety. I just want to endorse this variety with all my heart. 100%. 1,000%, if there is such a thing. And we know that there's not, but that's how enthusiastic I am about this variety. This is Taramo Unknown. And just a little while ago, I noticed a creature was eating some of the skin off the top of that fig. I was out here earlier gobbling down a few. The other day, about a week ago, and this has been producing for a couple weeks. The other day, I guess maybe 6 or 7 days ago, I did a video on this and lost it. I accidentally erased it. So I wanted to come back because I'm doing sort of like a series on figs that you can count on in the Northeast. No nonsense figs that are reliable, both in containers and in ground, that are winter hardy and productive. They must be productive for me to recommend them, like this is. And look at all those figs. They're all get ripe at different stages. It's been produced. It produced a lot of breva. I posted pictures of the breva, and I think I have it on an earlier video too, when I was featuring my Smith. And there were other ripe figs on it. It is a fig tree that's just so easy to recommend. I am certain of it. I've grown it in containers. I've grown it in the ground. And this one's not quite ripe because I've been gobbling them down, but it's ripe. This is Taramo Unknown. And I highly recommend this variety. Highly recommend it. Point blank. That's about it. If you want to add that to your collection, you won't be making a mistake if you do. This is another Hardy Chicago type, and you can see that it looks quite a lot like my Malta Black. There's little speckles on it though. There are so many variations of Mount Etna. I've got at least 10 varieties. This one is an unknown, but it produces every year, and I've made copies of it to give to my friends. Whenever my friends ask for fig trees, relatives, I always give them this one or another Mount Etna type, because they are just so reliable and so prolific, so productive, so winter hardy, and they're delicious, and they're early enough to enjoy. So with this one, oh, the tractor, the farmer, he's always busy at work around here. So I hope I provided some important information or useful information. I was going to cut this short because I can go on and on about some of these other varieties that are now ready my yellow long neck, and I'm going to resist the temptation to walk over there. I think I'll do a separate video on that so these don't run so long. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your visit, and you have a wonderful day, and button down your hatches, batten down your hatches for this big storm that's coming, heading this way. And we are now in August the 1st. That's, wow. That's a hard one to completely accept. I can't believe how fast the summer is flying by. Well, once again, thank you, and have a great day. Let's taste this. Caramel. I am so excited about this variety because I recognize its quality. This is we're talking about Taramo here. This one. This is a fig worth honorable mention. It honestly is worth honorable mention. You will not be dissatisfied if you obtain this variety and add it to your collection. Whether container or in ground, this is a winner. It's a keeper. I love this fig. By the way, I obtained this fig only a year and 4 or 5 months ago. This was just a cutting last spring. And you can obtain it from Big Bill at Off the Beaten Path Nursery near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He's a great guy, very knowledgeable, good person, honest, knows a lot about figs, and has a great variety selection. Taramo Unknown. I certainly recommend it. Have a great day.